Today's show star Jenna Bush Hager has only been a full-time host on the hit morning program for 6 years, yet she's already busy looking ahead to her next chapter, which she believes could well see her closing the book on life on the East Coast in favor of a return to her home state of Texas. The 43-year-old mother of 3 spoke out about her plans for life after her run on Today ends, admitting that it is her dream to move back to the Lone Star State, where she lived for many years, even while her father, George W. Bush, served as the 43rd president. Jenna, who attended the University of Texas in Austin during her father's first White House term, moved to New York City in 2010 in order to be closer to her twin sister, Barbara Bush, who was already living in the Big Apple. Then, in 2022, she and her husband, Henry Hager, swapped city life for a suburban property in Connecticut, where they have lived with their 3 children, Mila, 12, Poppy, 9, and Hal, 6, ever since. Yet Jenna is already eyeing up her next move, explaining during a recent episode of Today with Jenna and Friends that she has a dream of relocating to Texas in a bid to give her children a more normal life. Today's show host, Jenna Bush Hager, has admitted that she wants to move back to Texas so her kids can attend high school there. Jenna was born and raised in Texas, where her father served as governor for 5 years before he became the 43rd president. I have this sort of dream. I just think everybody should have chapters in their lives. I have a dream, and I don't know how realistic it is, but when the Jenna and Friends chapter comes to a close, she began, prompting her guest host, Matt Rogers, to question why that would ever happen. Well, linear television, baby, Jenna responded, before continuing, who knows? But when I'm ready to go to my next chapter, I think it would be so nice to move back to Texas and let my kids, I went to a big public high school, have a different life. The on-air host, who took over the 4th hour of Today when her former co-anchor Hoda Kotb stepped down from her decades-long role at NBC in January, noted that she has a particular fondness for the city of Austin, where she and her sister lived while her father served as the governor of Texas from 1995 until 2000. Isn't Austin great? I love Austin. Of course, Jenna would need to convince her husband, Henry, who hails from Virginia, that a move to Texas is in the best interests for their family, particularly given that the couple has never actually lived in the state together. The pair met back in 2004 when Henry was working for Jenna's father, and he popped the question to her 3 years later after asking George for permission. He called my dad. He's like, "I'm taking a nap. Come in a couple hours." So Henry had to sit and stew. The on-air host has made sure to nurture her children's connection to her home state, regularly taking them to sports games that feature Texan teams. Jenna and her husband are now living in Connecticut. However, for years they resided in a Tribeca condo that they put on the market for $5.4 million in 2022. The couple wed at Jenna's family's ranch in Crawford, Texas, and then moved to Baltimore, where the former first daughter was working as a teacher while Henry had a role with an energy company. Soon after Jenna began contributing to the Today Show in 2009, the couple made a move to New York, where they lived for many years, welcoming their first child, daughter Mila, in 2013. For many years, the couple were neighbors with Jenna's on-screen co-star, Savannah Guthrie, before they made the decision to move to Connecticut, putting their Tribeca condo on the market for $5.4 million in 2022. The property sold in October of that year for the much lower price of $4.9 million. Jenna and Henry moved into a stunning 6-bedroom property in Fairfield County. However, they have worked hard to keep details of the home's location under wraps. Before moving out to Connecticut, they also owned a weekend house in Long Island, where they would base themselves during the summer, with Jenna making the commute into the city for her filming obligations as needed. Speaking about their decision to purchase the home, Jenna admitted that she fell in love with the dwelling because it reminded her of Texas, of being outside. Even this close to the city, there was a remoteness to it. The post, Jenna Bush Hager, reveals plans to move back to home state of Texas as she opens up about life after Today Show. First posted on Real Estate News and Insights, Realtor.com.